It is Monday, the 24th day of July 2023. A very good evening to you from wherever you're watching us. Welcome to KTV Primetime News. We have so much lined up for you. We want to tell you about the push and pull between the opposition and the government and everything in between. But first, let's take a look at our top stories tonight. Ex-Mungiki leader Maina Njenga charged with the illegal possession of offensive weapons at Makadara Law Court. Interior CS Kithure Kindiki maintains government will deal with protesters on Wednesday. Former President Uhuru Kenyatta breaks silence, maintains he is not financing Azimio protests. And Infotrack says 85% of Kenyans are concerned about high cost of living, as 72% believe that Kenya is headed in the wrong direction. Welcome to the broadcast. Samuel Kelo is our sign language interpreter tonight. My name is ODIDA and we're live on our social media platforms. That is on Facebook and YouTube at KTV_Kenya. And remember, today is Money Monday. We will be talking about strategic financial management later on in the bulletin. So stay with us up until that point. But for now, we begin our broadcast. Azimio la Umoja Coalition has called off protests slated for Wednesday, July 26th. In a statement sent to newsrooms, the Raila Odinga-led coalition instead directed its supporters to light candles in honor of victims who lost their lives during past protests. Azimio claims that at least 50 deaths were recorded during the protest, while hundreds of other people are still admitted to hospitals after sustaining injuries in what they said was as a result of police brutality. The opposition has henceforth called on religious leaders and Kenyans to light candles in remembrance of protest victims on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Former Mungiki leader Maina Njenga was today arraigned at the Makadara Law Courts 5 days after his arrest. Njenga has been charged alongside his two brothers Peter Njoroge Kamuya and Felix Ratu Lakishe with possession of offensive weapons, including 14 machetes, swords, 46 rungus, and 3 djembe sticks.
After 5 days long in an undisclosed location with the family members demanding to know his whereabouts, police finally produced ex-Mungiki leader Maina Njenga alongside two co-accused at Makadara Law Court today. Njenga is accused of being in possession of offensive weapons which include 14 machetes, 24 swords, 46 rungus and 3 djembe sticks in circumstances which raise reasonable presumption that the said weapons were intended to be used in a manner prejudicial to public order. Apart from the weapons possession charge, the former Mungiki leader is also facing 2 counts of organizing unlawful assembly, preparation to commit a felony, contrary to section 3081 of the Penal Code. According to his lawyer Ndegwa Njiru, Njenga was arrested on 20th July at his father's residence in Kiserian, Kajiado County by police from Lower Matasi, Ngong, and taken to undisclosed location along with 2 other suspects. The trio were arrested in connection to the 3-day anti-government protest against high cost of living held last week from Wednesday to Friday, organized by the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Coalition. Patrick Odwor, KUTV.
And Mathare Member of Parliament Anthony Oluoch and Makongeni Member of County Assembly Peter Limwatok have been released on 100,000 Kenya shilling cash each for massive activities in relation to Azimio mass protests. Kilifi South Member of Parliament Kenya.
The drug charges against blogger and Jubilee Party digital strategist Pauline Njoroge has been dropped and freed on a free bond. She will be arraigned for publishing false information on her official social media account, case to be mentioned on Wednesday 26th. Njoroge was arrested in Watamu last week with her friend Jane Mwangi and their driver Emanze Jilani on claims of being in possession of narcotic drugs. Also, members of parliament allied to Azimio la Umoja coalition who were arrested during last week's demonstration have been freed today. Mathare member of parliament Anthony Oluoch and Makongeni member of county assembly Peter Imwatok pleaded not guilty to charges of mobilizing members of the public to commit act of subversion. They were among the individuals arrested on 20th July and subsequently interrogated at the DCI headquarters on 21st July. Oluoch and Imwatok faced accusation of mobilizing youths to instigate the chaos witnessed in certain parts of Nairobi. Additionally, Kilifi South MP Ken Chonga and Speaker Teddy Mwambire were also released on bail, each paying 50,000 in cash. They were charged alongside two others for participating in an unlawful assembly. Their case is scheduled for mention on August 7, 2023. Chonga and Mwambire spent the weekend in police custody after Magistrate Martha Mutuku postponed their bail application ruling to Monday. As the legal proceedings unfold, the released leaders will await further development in their case related to the charges of incitement and involvement in an unlawful activities. Patrick Udur, KUTV.
Jubilee faction led by Jeremiah Kioni has turned heat on the government over excessive force exerted by the police in containing protesters. In a statement to the press, the group has expressed fear of alleged killings at Kisumu's Nyamasaria area by the police, decrying lawlessness and subversion of the constitution by the Kenya Kwanza administration.
Jubilee's Kioni faction has reacted in the backdrop of the ongoing accusations of police brutality in containing the opposition's protests. Led by Jeremiah Kioni, the group accuses the government of controlling the police in a lawless manner, citing killings at Nyamasaria and Kisumu County, where police are allegedly attacking and brutalizing residents from the safe of their homes. The group is also concerned with the arrest of government critics and opposition leaders in efforts to frustrate the nationwide demos, claiming that Kenyans have been part of the protest regardless of the trails of injuries, pain and deaths incurred by the police. Kioni's faction concludes that Ruto's government has suspended the constitution and now operates on dictatorship, recalling that Kenya Kwanza regime is made up of people who opposed the 2010 constitution. At the same time, the group forced the government over the ever-rising cost of living. Blame games became part of the presser as the dissenting group associated the alleged administration problems with Mount Kenya MPs right from joining the previous Tangatanga group. Kioni slammed the defectors from opposition to the government, claiming that they are silently being mistreated at their new destination. Joseph Oyomo, KUTV.
Moving on, Interior Cabinet Secretary Professor Kithure Kindiki has termed anti-government protests as illegal. Kindiki has warned protesters and those inciting protest that the government will not spare protesters. He was referring to the Wednesday mass protests that had been planned by Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition before they called off the protest this evening. Kindiki has referred to politicians that incite protests as political criminals and that they will be treated equally to armed criminals and bandits. The CS says that the government is well prepared for Azimio protests and none of the protesters will be spared despite their political class.
We are not going to allow the same criminals to do what they did 2 Wednesdays ago. And that's why we will remain firm. I hear they have again threatened that they will want to go out on a looting spree on Wednesday. We are ready for them. We will deploy from 1 a.m. We will make sure that no hooligan, no criminal, no looter gets his way.
Interior Cabinet Secretary Professor Kithure Kindiki has today visited Baringo County, specifically Kasiala, Kiserian and Sinoni area, to monitor the state of security of Baringo County after managing to flush out bandits from the area. Kindiki in his statement highlighted the return of peace and the return of residents of that area who are displaced by bandits and armed criminals. The CS also maintains that areas that were gazetted as disturbed and dangerous remain out of bounds for residents.
Residents of Kasiela, Mukutani, Sinoni and Kiserian are back to their homesteads and embarked on economic activities such as farming and livestock rearing after more than 2 years of disruption and displacement by bandits and armed criminals. Interior Cabinet Secretary Professor Kithure Kindiki, during a statement at Kasiela today, congratulated the Joint Police Service for managing to flush out bandits from their hideouts.
All police officers, all National Police Reservists, Pongezi, all our KDF officers who are supporting the operation here, Pongezi, thank you for the good work you're doing.
Kindiki has, however, assured the residents of Baringo that security officers are monitoring bandits' hideouts and will not allow anyone to access the area. The CS asserted that anyone found in the gazetted areas will be treated as a criminal.
Na ule mtu ambaye atapatikana katika zile sehemu ambazo tuliweka katika gazeti ya serikali, tutamchukulia kama jambazi sugu, mwizi wa mifugo, na tutakabiliana naye, tutamuondoa pale kwa njia ya lazima.
Moso Kindiki, during a security baraza at Kiserian, promised Baringo residents measures to strengthen peace and development in Baringo, including increasing the number of National Police Reservists in Baringo, increasing the number of administrative units in Baringo, employment of additional teachers in Baringo, reconstruction of classes that were distracted by bandits, construction of security roads, and introduction of irrigation programs in Baringo. Salma Swaleh, KUTV.
Now, a recent survey report by Infotrack, a research company, has established that 72% of Kenyans have no faith in the direction the country is headed. According to the research report, the number of those who have no faith in the country's direction has increased by 13% compared to a survey done in March this year. The report has also noted that 85% of Kenyans feel the need for the government to address the high cost of living.
As the country continues to grapple with the high cost of living, a recent report by Infotrack has established that majority of Kenyans have no faith in the direction the country is headed. According to the report, 76% of Kenyans feel that the country is headed in the wrong direction, 15% feel we're in the right direction, 12% feel neither, and 1% doesn't know. The respondents cited that the high cost of living, poor governance, poverty and unemployment are among the reasons they feel the country is headed in the wrong direction. Among the people sampled, the Nyanza region recorded the highest number with 82%, followed by Western with 79%, Northeastern with 67%, and the Central region with 61%. The report has also established that 85% of Kenyans feel the need for the high cost of living to be addressed. Among the respondents, 89% of women want the issue of the high cost of living to be prioritized, compared to 86% of men. Concerning the controversial Act 2023, the report stated that 73% of Kenyans oppose the Act, while 87% are aware of the Act, 59% doubt that the Act will impact the country positively, while 22% believe it will change the country's economy. 61% of those that oppose the Act support civil disobedience, with 49% challenging it in court. The survey was carried out between July 3rd and 8th this year, and interviews were conducted via computer-assisted telephone interviews. The survey was carried out in 47 counties with a sample of 2,400 respondents. The report is released amidst the high cost of living and tension caused by the Azimio anti-government protests. Ruth Onjiru, for KUTV.
Now, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has today addressed the high-level United Nations Summit stock-taking on financing food systems in Rome, Italy, which aims at coming up with a lasting solution to hunger and climate change in the African continent. Gachagua has called for the restructuring of the current global financial architecture, which he claims is disadvantageous to African countries. Lynette Maina reports.
Hunger, malnutrition, and climate change in Africa are among key challenges raised by Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua during the United Nations Food Systems Summit in Rome, Italy, a conference that has attracted heads of states and key organizations. Echoing President Ruto's appeal on a favorable financial architecture, Gachagua has emphasized on a better strategy to structure the current global financial systems, claiming it is disadvantageous to the African continent, which is heavily affected by drought.
The present financial architecture has been very disadvantageous to the African continent that faces huge challenges. Like my brother here, my neighbor from Somalia has explained. The African continent needs to be looked at differently because of the various challenges, the issue of armed conflict, the issue of terrorism, and of course, coping with the challenges of the negative effects of climate change.
On the strategies that the government of Kenya has put in place to curb hunger in the wake of high cost of living, Deputy President Gachagua claims
a very sound strategy to re-engineer food systems financing. And our administration was elected last year, and we have changed the entire strategy by putting money at the bottom of the pyramid through the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. We have embraced financial inclusivity by creating a 10 billion Kenya shillings fund for the Hustler Nation. The Hustler Nation are the ordinary people who are the majority in terms of food production.
Owing to a deficit of over 700 billion shillings in the 2023-2024 budget, the Deputy President has called on the international partners to finance the government's bottom-up economic transformation agenda.
We are calling upon the world, we are calling upon our partners all over the world to look at the issues of the African continent from a different perspective and apply a very aggressive way of putting funds aside to enable the African continent to produce enough food and have surplus for export.
In the wake of alarming hunger levels in the African countries, new and effective strategies are paramount in a bid to achieve food security. Lynette Maina, KUTV.
All right, 19 minutes past the top of the hour. Allow us to take our very first short break at this point. Of course, we have so much lined up for you, so stay with us.
Maisha ni haya mwanaume ali. Sielewi yani hata neno moja. Yani tunasikia tu maboko likolo. Yani ukiniangalia tu mwamba huyu anafiti sehemu fulani. Wewe ni wewe inakaa. Without your love, I can't move on. Yo, that's your boy Rhino the Don. Keep watching and listening to KUTV.
Vijana wa kutafuta kazi, tunaweza kuanzisha miradi yetu ambayo ingetusaidia kubadilisha maisha ya wazazi wetu.
Kwa vijana wenzangu, wengi wale hawana kazi, lakini ikiwa sisi wenyewe tutajiamini, tunaweza kujiajiri wenyewe.
Afrika kwa kweli tuna mahitaji ambayo ukiyasuluhisha unaweza kuathiri watu kwenye bara hili bila woga.
Watu huwa na uzalishaji zaidi, wanajawa na ujasiri, wanakuwa wabunifu na wanakuwa wenye maarifa.
Niliamua kuacha kazi, hata kama sitafanikiwa, nitakuwa nimejaribu, nitakuwa najua haiwezekani.
Hakuna kitu cha ajabu hapa. Kila anayepata ufanisi hufanya kazi usiku na mchana.
Kitu kitakusukuma na kuwezesha kupata maarifa ambayo hukuwa nayo.
Tunajaribu kutengeneza kitu kitakachopita mipaka ya nchi hii.
Ikiwa unataka kubadilisha ulimwengu, anza na nyumbani.
Are you an aspiring media practitioner, a graduate, or you just want to advance your skills in television production? Then welcome to Kenyatta University, where education meets innovation. KUTV, the premier university television station in Kenya, is now offering short courses in TV studio, field technical operations, and video editing. Through these courses, you will acquire hands-on skills on camera operations, media production, lighting techniques, audio-visual editing, and sound and visual control, and how to operate key equipment in modern TV control room. Enroll today at KUTV and discover your full potential in cutting-edge TV broadcasting. Graduates of these courses will receive professional certificates. For more information, visit our offices at KUTV Studios or call us on 020-870-4252 or 020-870-4255 or SMS us on 0739-110-544. KUTV, a new experience.
Focus on Health is a show that creates awareness on matters health and informs you on various diseases, their causes, treatment, prevention, coping, and support. So join me, Bari Michelle, every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. only on KUTV. You can also follow us on our social media platforms at KUTV Focus on Health on Facebook and also on YouTube, and Health Focus on Instagram, because your health is your wealth. Stay safe and stay healthy.
Maelfu na maelfu ya wahamiaji wakiwa na watoto kutoka nchi za Amerika ya Kati wanaendelea kuwasili kwenye mpaka kati ya Marekani na Mexico.
But folks, I'm going. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Ni habari kutoka pembe zote duniani.
People pass kuvuka. People pass ni idea.
Tazidi ananyonya, hanyonyi vizuri, anakuwa hayuko comfortable.
Jeshi la Jamhuri ya Kidemokrasia ya Kongo linapambana na waasi wa ADF.
Kwa sasa wanatoa wito kwa mashirika, makampuni na vile vituo vya uchukuzi.
Mambo mengi yatakwenda kama yalivyopangwa.
Hapa ni kuna mmoja wa viongozi wa chama cha wavuvi katika eneo hili.
Zaidi tunajaribu kuwapa chanjo ili ina boost ama inanyanyua kinga ya mwili, ndio inaenda kupelekea kupambana na virusi.
Ni duniani leo, Jumatatu mpaka Ijumaa, moja kwa moja kutoka VOA Swahili, Washington DC.
We are all seeing the impacts of climate change. In Kenya, for example, the frequency of the floods is becoming more and worse. The amount of people and livestock we're losing.
The level we need to go is a level where the normal mwananchi and also the government stakeholders can uptake these solutions.
Those small acts multiplied by millions of us will help make a difference in the world at the end of the day.
It's just a slight behavior change that we need, and you'll find that it serves us a bit more than you put in. And that's the goal. We want to live a better world than we found. Because at the rate we are going, it's dire.
We will secure the planet for future generations.
Adventures across the African continent.
See breathtaking wildlife, stunning landscapes,
and out of this world technologies.
Meet incredible scientists
and learn fantastic facts.
Explore, discover, be amazed.
Part of the next generation of African change makers.
Be a part of Engine, Africa's #1 science discovery program.
Yay!
We're learning every day.
All right.
Welcome back to KUTV Primetime News. Of course, you are watching Money Monday, so to say. And like I told you earlier, it's time we will be talking about strategic financial management. Now, I'm joined by Dr. Austin Omanya, who is a strategic manager. We want to really delve into how to save our finances, how to manage them well in times of a crisis. Well, as you all know, the country is in a crisis too, just to say the least. We have mass protests that businesses are recording losses and just individuals as well. So Dr. Austin Omanya is joining us live via Zoom. And just to say hi, Dr. Austin.
How are you? And I'm happy to be part of this discussion tonight.
Karibu sana. So I want us to just to begin with, in our last story before we took this interview, we were talking about a survey by Infotech, and Infotech says 72% of Kenyans feel that the country is headed in the wrong direction, and this is in terms of the high cost of living and just the state of the economy at this day and age. What would you say about that, Dr. Austin?
Thank you so much. I think we are in very hard times, and everyone can feel the pangs and the pain. When the fuel prices went up the other day, despite the fact that the court had suspended the implementation of the Financial Act or the Financial Bill, things have never been the same again, because it is true Kenyans are really crying and suffering, and we are not headed anywhere better. But you know what? As a financial consultant, I can advise you and tell you exactly what you can do in terms of crisis.
Right.
So we are not anywhere better, and that is why we have this discussion tonight.
All right. Now, before we also took this interview, I was having a discussion with a colleague, and he was asking, how can you quantify the amount of money to manage? I understand that you financial consultants can also say that someone can manage as little as 5 Kenya shillings. So let's just put it as 5 Kenya shillings. Let's start with that. How do I manage money as little as 5 Kenya shillings?
Wow, that's an amazing question. One thing you have to know is that financial management deserves or calls for a culture of financial discipline. Financial discipline means every single coin that gets in my pocket, I have to be accountable for that particular one. In short, what I'm saying is, when I give you 5 shillings today, and in the next few minutes, you are not able to tell me how you use that money, then you need to come to a financial management or financial literacy class. Why? Because it has come to a time when every shilling counts.
Yeah.
And it is upon you to have that particular discipline. And you know what? That is why we talk about planning. So financial planning is going to help you on how you can manage the little that you have, such that by the end of the day, you are accountable for whatever you get in your pocket.
But now that you are talking about financial planning helps us to manage the little that we have, how do we actually now put it into action? How do we manage our finances now?
Financial management calls for some few strategies that I can share with you. Number one, you know what? Set a priority. Before you set financial goals, money will come and they will grow wings and they will fly. Why do you think people are very sober when they don't have money? And you could be having very good plans. You say, when I get 50,000 like today, wow, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. But at the time you get this money, it is like money is telling you, why are you seated down? Can you go to...
It's dead on arrival.
So this calls for what I call, you can never have financial discipline before you set financial goals. Financial goals are going to help you set your priorities right. Because by the end of the day, I need to know how much do I spend every day. And do you know what, guys? You can never have any meaningful financial literacy if you still spend like, somebody say, I have this problem, you send money here. I have this, you spend money here. You find something on the street, like right now. I know my ladies will crucify me, but listen to this, my ladies. The time for impulse buying is no more. Why? If basic commodities, you find it very difficult to bring basic commodities at home, it means you have to now get into another level of financial management. So set your personal priorities right, set your financial goals right, then create and stick to a budget. I normally see people picking things in the supermarket, even right now. Somebody picking things in the supermarket without a budget. Just look at that. Without a budget, you just go there, you pick. Unataka kujaza, unajaza kikapu. By the end of the day, these guys will go home yelling and mourning. Why? If you can't shop with a budget and you stick to that particular budget, you are always going to be in financial crisis. Guys, do you know what? Right now, if somebody asks you, like apparently I was in another training and people were asking me, now you're telling us about financial literacy. Well, you're telling us about savings culture. Do you think with this kind of economy, somebody can still save? Then I told them, yes, you can still save. You know what? All is not lost. And if you don't have the financial discipline, this is where you are going to start. The problem will begin here. So the basic financial literacy and understanding, the simplest one, is that every coin that gets in your pocket, you have to do three things. Number one, you set your priorities right. I know there are things that are important and urgent. There are others that are urgent but not important. There are others that are not important, not urgent. If you cannot divide, you take a ruler and somewhere where you are going to plan this, and you categorize your funds in that order, then I'm telling you, you are going to be in crisis, full-time crisis. So you set your financial priorities and goals right, what you need to achieve, what is very pressing, and you need, especially you start with debt. You know, one thing I tell people is that debt is a prison. And anytime you are into debt crisis, you even you plunge into depression. And you see right now, guys, depression kills. And I've seen even people who have taken their lives. I've seen homes where financial, crisis raided, and it led to separation, which means as much as we go to church and teach people how to tithe and how to do ABCD, we have to be organized back at home. By the way, it has come to a time when every family must now go back to the drawing board, and you start categorizing your finances into urgent and important, important but not urgent, not urgent, not important. Then you agree, you create a budget. This is what we're gonna do this week, or maybe this month, and then you stick to that budget, okay? Then of course, you should also establish an emergency fund. This one people don't know. Emergency fund is very, very important. And don't ask me, where am I going to get this if I cannot get enough to eat? Guys, you have just to cut your coat according to your size. The time when we used to entertain other people is over. It is time now to survive. And for you to survive, you must have the financial discipline.
Now, from what I'm getting is that people who are surviving on credit are also not in a good state, but really we can actually find maybe solutions for these people who are surviving on loans. How can they really survive and be able to manage the loans that they're taking from the banks or from wherever they're taking these loans from?
One thing you have to know, that loan is not bad, but loan is a debt. And you see, if you take a loan and you don't invest this money at the right in the right project, then you are going to be stressed paying back this particular loan. And you know what? Whether you like it or not, you have to pay loan. The other day, I was talking to a group of young people, and they were telling me, you know what? We are not going to pay this government fund. How do we call it?
Housing levy. The housing levy?
No, the one that you can borrow. Hustler fund.
Oh,
yes.
Hustler fund. Okay.
Yeah. They were telling me, no, we had some politicians telling us that we are not supposed to pay this one. Hey, I told them, hey, guys, look here. By the time you go borrow, what is in your mind? Do you borrow to eat? Do you know guys who are in crisis, financial crisis at the moment as we speak, are guys who borrow money to eat. You borrow to consume. You are going to be in real trouble. You can never go to the bank, borrow money. Apparently, there's a group of women I really assisted in Homabay County to secure a loan, the youth fund. And then they use this loan to buy new dresses and to change the diets. By the time the auctioneers came, they took like everything. I'm just saying this. You know, financial literacy is very good. It tells us on how we can even deal with our debts. How do you manage your debts? Okay? How then do you borrow? When should you borrow? And how much should you borrow, and when? You know, this is very important. But somebody just wake up in the morning and they say, I need like 0.5 million, you know? You go to the bank and you start processing this money. The bank will give you 0.5 M. It will give you, and you'll find that money in your pocket, you know? But what do you want to do with this particular money? What do you want to do? And have you calculated? You know, this is where also entrepreneurial mindset comes in. If you don't have entrepreneurial mindset, my friend, you are going to borrow to consume, and you will be in total financial crisis. Never borrow to consume, borrow to invest. And if you invest, there's what we call idea. You know what? Not all ideas are viable. And that is why some of us have gone to the banks, we've borrowed money, and we've invested in wrong places. Yes, we've invested in places where we cannot retrieve that money. You can never get that money. I'm saying this. We have business incubation centers in this nation. Before you invest in any project, why don't you do your due diligence? Why don't you do a small research? Why don't you contact and talk to consultants like us. Because I may only charge you some little fee that is going to save you $1 million. Why do you want to go invest this money before you have exact knowledge and approval, especially from a consultant? People don't love going for consultancy, and that is why it becomes very expensive by the end of the day. It becomes very expensive even to get that loan. So I'm just saying, if you have a loan right now, maybe you are servicing a loan, and you are also struggling even to put food on the table. Please, I'm saying this, and I still repeat, whenever you get money, think about loan. The first thing, think about this loan. Service your debt. Why? Because you are going to plunge into real depression before you know. So think of how you are able to reduce this. Even if it is by half, you can always agree with these financial institutions or the debtors. You tell them, you know, guys, because of this and this, I'll be paying this. But at least try to reduce that debt. Because if you don't do that, tomorrow you are going to come to my office because you are too much depressed for nothing.
All right. You know, I normally look forward to conversations on Money Monday because I learn as well. Now right here at Money Monday, we normally give our audience the opportunity to just to explore business avenues as well as just to give them money management tips. Now, you mentioned something about businesses, and I want to touch on that. In times of crisis like this, when we have protests like I had mentioned earlier, and these businesses have recorded losses since the protests began. Now, for someone, a business person who has set their priorities right, they know what they want in their business, but they are incurring losses at such a time as this, how can they manage their finances now? They already have their priorities right.
Wow. That is amazing. Anytime you are starting a business, you must know that there are external factors that may affect you directly or indirectly. You must know that there are internal factors. That is why, before you start a business, in that business plan, I want to see the SWOT analysis. I want to see the PESTEL. Have you analyzed the external environment? Have you analyzed the internal environment? You know, there are some things that may a crisis that might have been started by external forces, like whatever the mandaman that is going on. You know, I'm happy it has been called up for the Wednesday. I'm very happy because you know what? Hustlers, people who are struggling, small SMEs, were really affected by this the so-called mandaman. Why? Because if you take your goods outside there, you are not going to come back with them. Of course, they will be damaged, they will be destroyed, they will be stolen. And imagine, this is somebody who is living from hand to mouth. Yes. So I know we are going to have the peace back, but before that, anytime you want to start a business, you must also calculate the risks. Okay, especially the risks that might be caused by external factors. External factors including economic crises, political instigations, of course maybe legal issues, government policies, things of the kind. You must give them a space. And right now, if you are an SME, you have to be very creative. Why am I talking about creativity in this sense? You must be creative in the sense that the little money that you are investing today, you have to really, really think of the business, the kind of business you want to start. Why? Because if you are still going on with the business that mandamano can affect 100%, it means that idea is almost becoming obsolete. You know why? Because every time you want to come up with an idea that you want to implement, then by the end of the day, you are also looking for an ROI, return on investment, because no one will always invest money where they cannot retrieve it, you know? So what do? You need to really think outside the box and see how you are able to, calculate the risks and how you are going to manage these risks. You see, we just run business outside there, but we don't know what we call risk management. And that is a problem. And that is why when you come to my class, my financial literacy class, we shall teach you what we call risk management, because any business must be attached to risk. So long as you want profit, you must know that there must be a risk that can come because of external factors or even internal factors. Okay, but when these risks come, how do I manage them? So I beg all SMEs, now go back to the drawing board and ask yourself, how do I manage the risks that my business are facing at the moment, especially from political instigation?
So as we wind up, Dr. and of course I'm really grateful for your time right here. So how can we formulate plans now in order to achieve long-term goals now in time to avoid financial woes?
Thank you so much. You know what? Anybody who wants to be an entrepreneur must be a risk taker. And the fact that you receive losses at one point in business does not mean that idea is completely bad. What do you need to do? What I need to do as an entrepreneur is that I go back to the drawing board and ask myself the viability of this particular idea. The idea could be working. It might have worked in the year 2020, 2021. But in the year 2023, this idea is almost becoming an obsolete. It means what? I have to go back to the drawing board. And you can't go back to the drawing board alone. You need a consultant. You see, the problem we have in this nation is that people don't want to do consultancy. They don't want to pay something small there so that they can get the information from the horse's mouth. So you go on by hearsays. Do you know why Quail had to stop? Do you know why people lost a lot of money in Quail's business?
No.
Yes. Everyone was talking about Quail's. You know, it was rumors. Quail's. By the end of the day, the early investors at least got something. But the late investors really counted losses like no one's business. It is because no one tells you that, you know what, this idea that you are speaking about, it may not be viable in the next 2 years. So if you want to invest in this particular business, this is what you can, this is the path you're supposed to take. So we urge our people that before you invest, you implement any idea, kindly do a lot of due diligence, do a lot of, consultation, so that by the end of the day, you can also get, some little idea on how to go forward. That is why I welcome all of us. Right now, we are running cohort 2 of financial management. Please come to class and learn this thing before you count losses.
Thank you so much. That is Dr. Austin Omanya from the Global Strategic Pillar Consultancy. Thank you so much, Dr. for your time right here.
Thank you for welcoming me.
All right, our dear viewer, now when you hear Money Monday, you know it's time for class, and the class is over at this point. So we are taking a very short break. We're coming back with so much more, so stay with us.
Maisha ni haya mwanaume ali. Da sielewi yani hata neno moja. Yani tunasikia tu maboko likolo. Yani ukiniangalia tu mwamba huyu anafiti sehemu fulani. Wewe ni wewe inakaa. Without your love, I can't move on. Yo, that's your boy Rhino the Don. Keep watching and listening to KUTV.
Maelfu na maelfu ya wahamiaji wakiwa na watoto kutoka nchi za Amerika ya Kati wanaendelea kuwasili kwenye mpaka kati ya Marekani na Mexico.
But folks, I'm going. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Ni habari kutoka pembe zote duniani.
Pepo pasi kukufuku. Pepo pa ni idea.
Tazidi ananyonya, hanyonyi vizuri, anakuwa hayuko comfortable.
Jeshi la Jamhuri ya Kidemokrasia ya Kongo linapambana na waasi wa ADF.
Kwa sasa wanatoa wito kwa mashirika, makampuni na vile vituo vya uchukuzi.
Mambo mengi yatakwenda kama yalivyopangwa.
Hapa ni kuna mmoja wa viongozi wa chama cha wavuvi katika eneo hili.
Zaidi tunajaribu kuwapa chanjo ili ina boost ama inanyanyua kinga ya mwili, ndio inaenda kupelekea kupambana na virusi.
Ni duniani leo, Jumatatu mpaka Ijumaa, moja kwa moja kutoka VOA Swahili, Washington DC.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. Let's continue with our coverage. Now, former President Uhuru Kenyatta has responded to claims that his sons had been asked to hand over the guns they owned, claiming that they own their guns legally. Uhuru has also claimed that the police raid on his son's home in Karen was a plot to plant drugs and guns on him. The retired president has advised his successor, President William Ruto, that power is fleeting and temporary, urging him to run the country and deliver to Kenyans instead of following him. Kenyatta has also denied claims that he is sponsoring the anti-government protests by Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition, saying protests will not benefit him in any way. Pineapple farming in Kenya has gained significant popularity due to its profitability and suitability to the country's climate. Now, in Migori County, a pineapple farmer has challenged his colleague farmers from the county to try out different crops on the farms to increase production yields and stop over relying on tobacco and cane growing. The scarcity of pineapples in Migori County has led to its importation from Tanzania.
The government is embracing agriculture as one of the ways to battle with the rampant effects of drought and climate change in the country. Joseph Magaiwa, who is a retired accountant and now a farmer, says he ventured into pineapple growing due to scarcity in its supply in Migori, and most of the crop was imported from Tanzania.
Fanya research ya vitu ambayo nitapanda baada ya kuacha kuretire kuja kukaa nyumbani. Wakati nikitembea kwa town zetu, especially Migori, ninapata kuwa mananasi ambayo iko hapa kwetu ni ile imetoka Tanzania. Nikaenda kwa border Sirali kwa Tanzania, nikataka find out mananasi inatoka wapi.
Magaiwa now calls upon other farmers in the county to venture into pineapple farming, which also do well in the region, other than the cultivation of tobacco and cane.
Prepare miaka yako ya kwenda. Huwezi kupata mtu wako miaka 60 bado anangoja aende kufundishwa, bado anangoja vitu ya bure. Ingia, tengeneza nanasi. I'm sure mining after another 1 year or 2 years nitakuwa na sakas nyingi sana.
With a total of 15,000 plants in his 3-acre farm, he anticipates a profit over $500,000 from the first harvest, which is due by the end of the year.
Kwa mfano kama nanasi haina complication. Tengeneza mahali, get the suckers, which is not possible to get unless the county government wapatia. Shida where do we get the suckers? Ukisha ipata unapanda.
Additionally, he cites laxity and over-dependence on the government by other farmers, which he says derailed different crop variety production, since most farmers are originally tobacco or cane growers in the region.
Wakulima ninawaomba tafadhali, acheni kukaa ati mpaka ufundishwe au ufanyiwe hii. Naturally kuna vitu vingine as a farmer. Kwa hii miaka yote umekaa, kutoka shule jana, muingie kwa shambani na kuna vitu ambayo mtafanya.
Pineapple farming in Kenya offers a promising venture for farmers seeking profitable agricultural opportunities. Dorothy Mosioka, KUTV.
All right, now in the world of sports, Football Kenya Federation and Machakos County Government has put pen to paper to construct a National Football Technical Center in Machakos County. The facility, which will cost around $4.5 million, is meant for training coaches, referees, and young footballers in the country. The center will comprise of 3 international standard football pitches, offices, and accommodation facilities, with the aim of identifying, nurturing, and developing sporting talents.
National teams now have a home in Machakos. All of them. Boys and girls. Not only that, our schools and our schools championship that we are starting now can come to Machakos and call it home. This facility is about developing our kids under 13, under 16, so that we can have a bright future in football.
This project will benefit our county in various ways, including youth football development. Youth will get a chance to showcase their talents, capacity building, high quality training will be offered for upcoming coaches and referees, among other football officials.
And finally, Saudi club Al Hilal has made a world record bid of 259 million euros to sign PSG forward Kylian Mbappe. Meanwhile, Borussia Dortmund have agreed a 15.1 million euro deal in principle to sign midfielder Marcel Sabitzer from Bayern Munich, as Chelsea offers 39 million euros to sign Crystal Palace star Michael Olise. Manchester United will have to pay Harry Kane a whopping 30 million euros a year to sign him. And at least 5 teams have shown interest in signing English player Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, including Aston Villa, Brentford, with clubs from Turkey and Saudi Arabia also interested. That brings us to the end of our bulletin tonight. Many thanks indeed for keeping us company. We do value your time and your contribution to making this bulletin a success. Be sure to join me again tomorrow for a conversation on the state of the nation. My name is Ann ODIDA. I'm in the company of Samuel Kelo as our sign language interpreter tonight. Have yourself a good night and see you tomorrow, inshallah.